Inari,
What?
I didn't give you wings the last time I reset you.
Nor did you give me an actual mother.
You're strong enough yourself, you didn't need one.
Says the one that didn't teach me anything and I had to crawl my way up.
And look how powerful you are because of it.
And look what the destruction I've caused because of it.
Sierra's not the only one who can bring upon the weather.
Yes, yes, Mother, you don't need to show off.
I'm sensing some differences about you.
Like?
Can I get a real answer, please?
What would you ever so mean, Mother? What differences would you sense?
I left you with the power of nature, life, plants. Why am I not sensing that from you now?
I don't know. Why did you feel the urge to punish somebody you trusted?
Why did you do something that deserved punishment?
Why did you assume that I did it out of spite, or that I was breaking it on purpose?
You made a contract with a mortal and immediately broke that contract. You're trying to claim that was not deliberate?
Maybe there's more behind the scenes than you really realize. All mortals, as you know, are not very compassionate? Mm, that's not the right word. Surely you know what I mean.
All I know is one of my gods broke one of my contracts and felt they shouldn't be punished the same way I would punish the mortals?
Mortals are lower beings that deserve to be punished when the wrongdoing.
And you're above that?
Am I not?
I would say your punishment answers that.
You created a being with power and immortality. You give them a job, and yet you think they are much lower on the same level as mortals?
You behave like the mortals, you'll be treated like the mortals.
What is it that you want? I was very busy, you see.
I felt it was about time to work on that mother-daughter relationship you wanted.
After how many years you finally decide to show up?
Well, your little tantrum got my attention, isn't that what you wanted?
Well, not exactly, but I suppose it's one way.
You have my attention for the day.
Very Shall we take a walk?
Yes,
Well, is there anything that you needed to speak to me other than the fact that you would seem to, not quite accept the changes that I have gone through?
changes that weren't permitted by me.
Changes that I had no will in receiving.
Then where did these changes come from?
How should I know? You sent me to the end. When I came back, this is how I was. If you didn't change me, then maybe the end has.
Keeping things from me is never a good idea, Inari.
As I have stated, I do not know what changes caused this. There is no lie. If I was to lie, there would be more punishment. Then again, what would be stopping me from wanting this? Keeping you things from you has often more brought to light things that I need to know. So either way, it's beneficial to myself.
You asked for the powers of nature, and yet you have turned
Yes,
from it?
with people cutting down trees, refusing to replace them, destroying animals and crops for their own benefit, taking more than they return to the earth. What is the point of ruling over something that is so fragile?
Then you can agree with me on the corruption of the mortals, with what they're doing to your powers.
Who said it was the mortals that brought this upon me?
Who else was breaking down the trees and farming all the crops and killing all the animals, except for the mortals?
But the mortals do not have the power to change somebody. Unless there's something else that you've been keeping from me.
If I am, it's for good reason.
And you've told me all that I need to know. This rain is bothering me. And so is the night. Shall we go a little someplace more peaceful? I sense you have some questions, more serious ones, other than my physique.
It is your day. Where'd you like to go?
Hmm. Honestly, there's no place I'd rather be. If you're watching, then you'd know I don't typically leave either this area or my home.
You asked for somewhere more peaceful?
Well, yes, but very well. So where have you been, Mother?
Just about watching. A bit of
What
everywhere.
for?
Trying to figure out what the cause of this corruption actually is. Apparently it wasn't chaos and order. I sent order against chaos. But there still seems to be some form of corruption around. You happen to know anything about this? With this new time-changing ability that I did not give you?
Absolutely not. And before you say it, Mother, yes, I do know what the punishment is for lying.
Glad
I've
we
been
can agree
around
on
long enough.
that.
After all, you have no right to say that I am a liar.
Are you trying to call me a liar?
Is not withholding information the same as a lie? Giving something that is a half-truth is also the same.
If you're avoiding telling someone something, no, it's not a falsehood if you avoid the topic.
Hmm. Others would see that differently. After all, you know how I feel about honesty.
I thought you put that more under Sierra's domain.
Loyalty is something we both share. However, honesty is something that I highly. What's the word? Appreciate? Cherish, maybe.
And yet it is alright when you're withholding information yourself.
Did you not hear yourself? Withholding information is not a lie.
It's not a lie. Can concede. But you should be careful with whom you're withholding this information from.
Would it not be a good idea to give information that could end up being false? Or should I wait until I actually have correct information?
If that makes you feel better about withholding information from your mother,
After all, it is you who said giving false information is also a lie. Knowingly or not.
about Sarah actually. How are your siblings doing?
I wouldn't know. Well, not completely at least. Sarah seems fine at the moment. After all, what you have done is obviously good enough for now.
Is she not
As
more
for,
powerful and protected than the mortals? Are you saying I did wrong in giving her powers?
I'm just questioning. If someone is given powers, and obviously in past places, past worlds, past lives, for example, people have found their identity. What if that happens again? What will you do?
I'll do what must to keep this world away from corruption. If that is perhaps removing my children, mm, there's good reason I never got close to any of you.
Hmm. She's not even your child. Funny you should say that.
Funny you gathered that information without me giving you it.
I've been here for ages. Don't you think I would have picked up on things much sooner? After all, I was one of your first. You may have left me here with nothing. Well, I suppose I shouldn't say nothing. In a way, I am still partly you. Even if it's not in mind, body, or spirit.
Partly enough that it will not harm me to remove you. Or reset you if must.
You
Sarah
always
was alone when I found her in a place that generally shouldn't inhabit mortals. I did her a favor in bringing her here, allowed her to live, and when I decided she was close enough to be a firm protector for She-Wolf, I gave her the powers needed. Unfortunately, the latest corruption has somehow messed with the copy somehow. And
I
you know
can
what
see
happened
that.
after that.
Well, yes. However, to be honest, it seems this copy possibly is more safe than others. If they're not fully in this world, or nor fully in another, they can't be hurt nearly as bad. At least for the time being.
But this corruption is somehow causing it pain every time it goes to sleep. This corruption I don't know where it's coming from this time.
Sometimes things come from the least expected areas, or some that are forgotten, or wish to be forgotten.
I think we can both agree we do not want this world reset again.
Well, no. However, maybe it's not this world that you need to be careful of.
You're saying I should be more selective in the mortals I bring?
No, more selective in the worlds. If you brought people from worlds that also had an identical setup to what you wish this world to be, then you would have no issue. However, proceeding to bring people from worlds that were already corrupted, you're bringing corruption in willingly. What is the one thing that we'd have here, or should I say lack thereof, that other worlds seem to always have?
My thoughts are this corruption comes from the mortals' histories, comes from their past. Remove their histories, remove the corruption. It
You cannot
appears. What can I not?
you cannot assume that is the mortals with everything. The mortals fare well here, however, as much as you think the corruption is from the mortals. What is the one place that you can't seem to bother
That is a place
keeping
we do
in
not
touch?
speak of.
And yet, because of your insolence, that is the cause of corruption. Even I have understood that much. After all, you're the one that shaped my mind. Therefore, my
Corruption
mind.
cannot be
Hmm?
coming from that dimension. That
And yet,
dimension is
corruption.
empty.
Maybe not as empty as you feel. Funny thing about that place. I thought I was alone, but as empty as you think, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of people there. Some not so kind entities. Others, oddly enough, able to live there without change, without corruption. However, any outside force interfering with it seems to, how do I say, bother their bodies,
That place
seep in,
was sealed off.
and yet you
If
chose to banish me
corruption
there.
if corruption came from there, then the corruption is coming from you and your little mortals.
No. Well, not this world, anyway. All I say is if you want a peaceful world, I advise not bringing people from other worlds that have an open place, if you know what I mean.
So you would prefer I seal off the world and stop allowing others to join?
Indeed, why not create your own people, separate from those who are in the outside world? If you can create your own people, then you create no corruption. If you take people from other worlds that have that place comes here, whether you think so or not.
Creating my own people would remove their creativity.
Not necessarily. What is the boundaries of creativity? You created me from nothing, and I have plenty.
You are already something.
Yes, from this world itself. You have the tree. You have the trees. You have clouds. You have grass, rock, stone. You are supposed to be creation itself. Create something. Out of anybody here, you should have infinite possibilities yourself. More so than I, Serwin, order, chaos. Should you not?
It wouldn't be as entertaining if I created
Uh,
everything myself. I like the sporadicness of the people I bring. You yourself wouldn't have turned into this if I fully created you from nothing. You wouldn't be able to disobey me if I created you from nothing.
Disobedience technically equals corruption in your eyes, does it not?
In your case, no. You're just going for a rebellious phase. I expected it a lot sooner, I'll admit, but it's here. I'm not too surprised.
Fair enough.
May not have created you from nothing, but I did create you. You're much like what Sheol's daughter was once like.
Hmm. Changing the subject, you must have some type of question for me. Some type of something you want to talk about. It can't be just me speaking this entire time. Obviously, you wouldn't have summoned me if there wasn't more than just my looks.
I have a task for you.
Of course. What
Come
is it?
along. What do you know of this place?
Well, I've been watching them for a while, and they seem a little bit annoying. Some of them like the gods, some of them despise the gods.
And your
Well,
thoughts on them?
well, they're mortals, and they know not much of what they do.
I'm sure you've heard they offered protection to yourself from my punishment.
Well, that is on them then.
Are you going to accept?
I have no reason to accept. What they do is of their own volition. If they wish to protect me for no reason, then they may protect me. I will not stop them, nor interfere with what they have planned.
They're cute, let's say. They think they'd be able to harm us. But no, the one thing they could harm. Your task is to keep She-Wolf away from here. They are not to learn of its connection to myself. If they do, let's say, for the appropriateness, yourself and Sierra will both face my wrath. You don't seem to care much about yourself. I believe you care about your sister more.
We are not sisters by blood, therefore why should I care?
Perhaps I could bring her into full godhood.
We both know if you did that and something happened, of course, we both know what that something would be. The backlash would be on you, not me.
I can turn her without her memories being returned.
You don't have to return their memories.
And you
But
will not
remember what
speak
happened
of
last
them.
time. I am not the one that has to. You already know very well things have happened in the past to cause such issues. If one thing has taught me anything, the past history often repeats itself. You should know that more than anyone, Mother.
And if it does, maybe you just won't have a sister. If she
It's
can't be
not my
controlled,
problem.
then what do you care of?
I cared of having my lone and silence, but that obviously will never happen with these mortals.
These mortals who are some of them.
Loud, rambunctious?
That is why you wish I don't bring more mortals to this world. You want it to be just yourself and your siblings. Not denying just gives me the answer. I can easily just bring the mortals straight to your little walled in area. That wouldn't be hard. You
No, it
can't
wouldn't.
hide as long as you're on this world.
Oh, I can't. But there's plenty of others that can. I'm willing to cut down as many mortals as it costs to actually have my silence. And after all, it just eases my job, after all. Without mortals, nobody hurts She-Wolf. Makes my job easier then.
Without mortals, it would also start rebelling. You don't understand, Inari. There needs to be a certain order for the world to work. There needs to be players, there needs to be gods. And I felt I couldn't be god of everything by myself. I felt perhaps it would be prudent for the world to work if I was to share my powers. Mayhaps I was
I
wrong.
felt prudent to have a mother, but that didn't happen either.
I'm giving you this today, am I not?
That doesn't make up for thousands of years of silence. Maybe a
Every,
call once in a while would be nice.
everything has to start somewhere.
I can agree with you on that, at least. There's no promises that I'll be able to keep She-Wolf safe. You realize that.
I don't
I
think
am not to
She-Wolf
interfere
is
with...
capable of keeping itself safe. You'll make sure the church doesn't learn of our connection. If it gets itself hurt, I'll deal with it then.
No promises.
Inari, this is a direct order. You will not mention She-Wolf and my connection to anyone.
Since when would I have to say anything about it?
Just make sure you stay away from situations that would cause you to think about saying anything.
Like that would ever happen. But very well. Is there anything else you want to know about the church, or anything else that you feel the church is doing that I should personally know?
It would be interesting if you were to find a way to join the church. They wish to protect you. You have a way in. I would like to see how they would react to a god being within their services. Which would be get close to their sermon, Carol. I might give him a bit of an upgrade. See how the church will react to their leader becoming one of their hated.
That shouldn't be too hard, I guess. But again, I just want to be left alone.
Once the church is dealt with, you can be left alone. I can even create you a little world just with yourself in it, if that's what you wish.
Very well. No promises, but I'll see what I can pull off.
I do wish to improve our relationship, Inari.
Well, maybe you should call once in a while, a little more often.
If that's what you want, then I shall.
After all, you've never even gotten to see what we have worked on.
Then how about you show me?
Doodly-doo.
I see you're embracing staying away from nature. After all, you're blocking the world away.
What's the point of embracing the world if the world comes in to destroy you? If the Church truly decides to destroy the entirety of all the gods, even if they manage to find a way to hurt us, at least I'll be safe within my own walls. And anyone who at least wants to try not to be hurt. After all, we may be immortal, but we do still feel pain in one way or another. I may not be physical, but I still do feel pain. More so of those others.
What's this new structure you have in the center?
I was thinking of making a church myself. It's not much, but it's something.
You wish to be left alone? You have your new little power. Why don't we set it today? A helpful power. I'll allow you that.
Not as helpful as it could be, but it does suffice.
Why are you building yourself a church where people come to worship you if you wish to be alone?
Despite wanting to be alone, I think you can attest to this. Mortals can at least be helpful. After all, they're the ones that are putting the work in.
So when you're using the mortals, you're perfectly okay with them being here. A little bit hypocritical, don't you think?
What do you use them for?
Keeping the world populated, making sure there is a world for the gods to survive in.
And without with population, don't they need to have something to do?
They have their own little goals in mind.
Some people have goals that I don't understand. So I'll let them be. Besides, as they build this, then they seem to leave me alone regardless. After all, depending on how it looks, it might fit as a good house. Despite being somewhat bland at the moment. There's not even a door on this frigid thing.
Your mortals aren't very good at building, are they?
No. Though I assume they have some plan in place. They can't be all foolish.
I can sense my copy around here. You're not using it as one of your slaves, are you?
Slaves? I never said they were slaves.
You're
I
having
did say
them
they were
built for you.
Well, fair enough, but they are doing it of their own volition. However, to answer your question about Your copy? Honestly, it's more of just a coincidence at this point. I'm not exactly sure why they chose to help out. I did have an IOU for them, so this might be their way of paying me back, I guess?
It's interesting timing. And now it winds its way into your IOUs.
Well, I must say that is an odd timing as well. Though again, I wouldn't know anything about that. After all, as far as I've heard, the sermon was carried out while I was away.
Undue punishment. It was deserved. But I would say perhaps I should have spoken to you before punishing you so harshly. After all, 6 months can be a long time.
You didn't even bother asking why, but I guess that doesn't need to be said now as punishment is now over with.
I haven't yet asked you, why did you decide to make him break the contract, Inari?
In due time, Mother, answers will purvey themselves. Will they not?
What answers were you looking for?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
Were you hoping that breaking his contract would allow your conversation with myself?
Again, I have no answer for that. For I don't exactly know myself.
I I guess I'll apologize for forcing you to take those lengths for answers. You want any answers? Just ask. After all, I'm here. I'll come again next week and the week after. You can expect weekly discussions.
If that is what you promise, then I will hold you to that.
I will not break a promise, Inari Hanja.
So be it. Is there anything else you would like to discuss?
I've discussed all I wished. With you
Very
for
well.
now. Is there anything else
Very
you would
well.
like?
Not exactly.
Alright. I'll see you in a week's time.
As will I.
Goodbye, Inari.
Goodbye, Mother.